Hi there, Mandy Friedman here, licensed professional clinical counselor, clinically certified domestic violence counselor, clinically certified trauma professional level 2, the creator of SNAP survivors of narcissistic and abusive personalities. I'm here with Sarah Morehart, who's a therapist at Claremont Mental Health.
In today's video, we're going to be identifying songs and lyrics of Taylor Swift's that we feel refer to relational trauma. Relational trauma refers to traumatic experiences that occur within the context of relationships. And an important disclaimer to make is relational trauma is an experience. And PTSD, the diagnosis of PTSD, can sometimes, but not always, result from relational trauma. So just to be clear, we're not doing any diagnosing in this video. We're just commenting on lyrics that point to what we believe is the experience of relational trauma. And an additional disclaimer is we're not making any commentary on Taylor Swift's personal life in this video. A lot of her songs are fictional. A lot of her songs are autobiographical here, and we're not here to diagnose anyone from afar.
You came up with your top 5 songs. I came up with my top 5 songs that to us remind us of relational trauma. We're going to just ping pong back and forth with our thoughts about those 5. So let's get started.
All right. I'm going to start us off by talking about my number 4 song, The Last Time, featuring Gary Lightbody. This is another one that when I was narrowing down my songs, I was surprised that ended up so high on my list. When I first listened to this song as a teenager, I thought this was a really romantic song. And I think that that theme is really interesting when we look at Taylor Swift songs and Taylor Swift lyrics, because in a lot of ways they mirror the culture. And there's this normalization of patterns in music and then also movies and books, things like that, that when you actually look at them, you're like, oh, wait, there could be a little bit of a toxic element to this. So that's what I felt when I was re-fathoming this song. I feel that this song illustrates the cycle that happens in a toxic relationship, or can happen in a toxic relationship, of idealization, devaluation, and then either discard fully or discard and reconciliation, which this song really focuses on the moment of reconciliation that can happen repetitively. This song really illustrates the repetitive cycle with the really frequent repetition of the refrain, this is the last time, this is the last time, this is the last time. It really just, even in the structure of the song, gives that cyclical feeling. So many of the lyrics point to idealization, such as all roads lead me here, referring to all roads lead me to you. No past, no reasons why, just you and me. This idea that if I just have you, we don't have to think about the past. It doesn't matter how we hurt each other. When you come back, everything is better. Very just idealized, I need you type of language. There's also hints that there has been devaluation in this relationship, such as, this is the last time I'm asking you this, put my name at the top of your list, meaning in the past, there wasn't prioritization going on. You break my heart in the blink of an eye gives very devalue and discard, just blink of an eye. This is the last time I won't hurt you anymore. Like, even just that statement is wild when you think about it. It's like that refers to, so there have been multiple times you've said, I won't hurt you anymore, and you're repeating it again and again. How am I supposed to believe that anymore? There's almost an addictive quality to the rebound reconciliation phase. And I feel that this song really encapsulates that really addictive feeling. And then how easy it is to get into the pattern of giving second, third, and 100th chances. So Mandy, do you have any comments on this song?
I think you're so right that this is a representation of that cycle where we have the pressure that builds, there's the blow up that happens, there's the, discard or breakup, and then we can't handle the being apart, and now we're still talking, coming back together again, and it's going to be different this time, right? You mentioned the addictive quality. I'm so glad you did, because I was going to talk about how that actually plays out in our brain and that our brain chemistry becomes locked into this cycle, and it is actually addictive. You know, you were saying that as a descriptor, but it's clinically true that, especially if you have a codependent style of love that you're used to, if that's the way that you were raised, that you know, you tiptoe around another person, and that you can't be emotionally okay if this other person is not okay, that codependent enmeshment as just being something that someone might have a tendency toward, right? And then within this toxic relationship and the patterns that go on, there is that devaluation, the discard, and then there's a withdrawal. And that withdrawal is often so difficult to endure that the second this person comes back around, they start acting nice again. All of a sudden, it's so easy to forget what just happened a few minutes ago, because your brain is lighting up with the feel-good chemicals that you've been missing while you're feeling that withdrawal. I 100% agree with you that this is a really good description of one of those cyclical relationships where people just can't seem to actually end it, and are saying it's the last time, and yet here we are again.
All right, Mandy, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is You're Losing Me.
Oh,
yeah. This one really gets me. So one of the things I love about the song is there's a sound of the heartbeat in the background, because, you know, it's what she's talking about is like that she's dying, you know, that this relationship is making me ill, it's making me sick, and it's killing me. The more you continue to harm me, the more you're losing me. And please stop. It hurts. The first line that really resonates with me is, I'm getting tired even for a phoenix, always rising from the ashes, mending all her gashes. You might just have dealt the final blow. We know that this narrator, that is something that is a theme that we just keep getting back up again, and that we keep rising up from the ashes. And people that have been in abusive and toxic relationships, one of the worst fears is that you're going to wind up there again. And a lot of people do. And that's kind of normal for the process of figuring it out. As remember, we talked in our number 5 video about how some people will meet someone new and they'll think, this is different this time. We don't figure it out until we actually go through it and then realize, oh, this is actually quite similar to what I've found in the past. Another line that really gets me is, how can you say that you love someone you can't tell is dying? Yeah, like, how do you not see how unwell I am? And sometimes people that are in these kinds of relationships will actually inflict some form of self-harm in order that the person who's hurting them will recognize that this is how bad it is. This is how much pain I'm in. It makes the pain visible. Like, you can't tell how much I'm hurting. How can you say you love me and also not know what this is doing to me? I sent you signals and bit my nails down to the quick. My face was gray, but you wouldn't admit that we were sick. But also, I know my pain is such an imposition. That's a big one too. That there's no room for my pain here. It's an inconvenience for you. I'm laying here dying. You don't even notice. You're not doing anything to fix this or to help me. You're just denying it exists at all. No matter the signals that I send, no matter the self-harm I inflict, I'm biting my nails to the quick. I'm gray, and you're just acting like it's not happening. And so that makes somebody feel invisible in a toxic relationship. It does show the depths and the lengths someone is willing to go to try to work it out and to stay with that person, is that I'll let myself wither away. Throughout these songs, we hear that come up multiple times in the lyrics, not just in these 2 songs, but other songs. We're talking about how the relationship really winds up being something fatal. And yet I'm going to dive in face first, because that's just how I roll, is that I'm going to let it make me sick. You know, I'm going to let you do this to me because that's how much I love you. And then this one, I gave you all the best me's, my endless empathy, and all I did was bleed as I tried to be the bravest soldier, fighting in only your army. Front lines, don't you ignore me. she's doing everything she can to be perfect so that she won't be invisible. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader, even though you're not giving a shit about that I am gray and dying and sick. I'm going to continue to fight for your army in the front lines and be your biggest cheerleader. And hey, could you recognize that maybe? Could I get a little bit of acknowledgement for the fact that I have this endless empathy that I continue to pour into the relationship, despite the fact that I'm gray and withering away? I still have it in me somehow to be there for you. And these are the clients that I work with. They have endless empathy. They have this amazing inner strength that just keeps coming and coming, and they pour it into other people at their own peril and continue to put others first while they turn gray. And that ties in with the next line, which is, I wouldn't marry me either, a pathological people pleaser who only wanted you to see her. She'll make everybody else happy, will put everyone else first. And really all she wants is just to be seen and known for who she really is. And for someone to reflect that back to her and go, I see you doing all of those things, and I appreciate you for it. I notice it, I recognize it, and I see you and what you're putting in. And I also see that you're hurting and that despite that, you still have this to give. Someone to see that in her and reflect it back instead of just continuing to take and take and take and go, I don't know, what's the problem? What's wrong? You know, gosh, you're so depressed all the time and sad. Like, you know, what? I don't get it. Okay, I guess I'll just, you know, continue to be alone. And then there's this pleading. As I'm fading, thinking, do something, say something, lose something, risk something. There's so much indecision in the air, and I'm unsure. And, you know, there's no foundational thing that can make someone feel emotionally safe. It's constant shifting under your feet of uncertainty because this other person isn't confident enough in themselves to commit and to give you that the feeling of safety, the feeling of trust, the feeling of consistency. And so she's saying, you know, do something, risk something, also choose something. I've got nothing. I'm done. Like I'm spent. When are you going to start investing? And all during the song, you hear this heartbeat. And to me, that really makes it a kind of physical sensation when I'm listening to the song. I feel like emotional too, because it's so realistic, and it is so much like I'm sitting in someone's therapy session that it really, I don't know, it really cuts to the bone in a way. Just how this is presented as being, you're losing me. You're going to have to get out the you're going to have to get out the, like I am fading away. I'm turning gray. I'm pouring everything in. You don't even notice. I'll keep going though. Maybe you'll notice someday. I'm the therapist in the room going, when was the last time you did something for yourself? When was the last time that you invested in you? When was the last time that you put yourself first? Can you remember? And if someone has children, it makes it even worse often, that there's other little ones aside from another little one that we're having to mommy and worry about. And then all the while not being emotionally safe and not having someone partner with you that wants to protect you and protect your resources of your time, energy, emotions, and attention. Those are resources. And someone, again, like I said in the number 5 video, someone who loves you and is a healthy person should recognize that you're not doing well, should notice those things, and should be like, how do we fix this? What can I take off your plate? How can I contribute more so that this is a more balanced relationship? So these lyrics not only show us the damage and the toxic cycles that we see in relationally traumatic relationships, but also it acts as almost like the antithesis of what we would want. The narrator often writes about that too, of like, shouldn't it be like this? Like, here's what I wanted, but this is what I'm getting. It paints a picture of what we should be aiming for in the future if we can break out of the cycle.
I love those comments, Mandy. Do you want to hear my take?
Yes, that's exactly what I would love to hear right now. Sarah, how do you think?
This song for me is so heartbreaking because it really depicts how hard it is to break up. It's really hard to end a relationship. And I even think back to what we were talking about with the last time of that cycle and just continuing to come back together and how hard it is to just cut the cord. For me, I feel like this "you're losing me, stop, you're losing me, stop, you're losing me" insistent chorus is the moment of the glass shattering. That sometimes there's a moment in a toxic relationship where it doesn't even make sense that that's the moment that the glass shatters and you're like, no, I'm done. It doesn't even make sense. It's like, oh, there's all this stuff I've just let slide, all these issues that have been here for a while. And this moment is the moment, but it is. The glass shatters and you're done. And there's nothing that person can say, even though in your mind and it breaks your heart and theirs, because even in your mind, you're still asking them, say something, do something. Is there anything you can possibly give me to make me hold on to this? But really, I think the narrator is done here. Something that really sticks out to me in this song is what you were highlighting, Mandy, is just wanting to be seen and noticed for who you are and what you're struggling with and not being seen in your pain. So it really resonated with me when you mentioned self-harm and the possibility of that creeping up, because often that can be coming from a place of, I just want you, my partner, to see that I'm hurting, and I have to go to extremes to see that. A pathological people pleaser who only wanted you to see her. It almost feels like that line, a pathological people pleaser, could be a line that the subject of the song used against the narrator at some point. I don't know if that's the case, but it's like this therapy speak will come in and it's just, oh, you're just being a pathological people pleaser. You're just being a people pleaser. But it's really more about, can you just see me? Can you see the human being who is suffering in front of you, instead of just labeling this as something I need to work on? So that's, in some ways, therapy speak can be harmful in relationships. But there is a line also in the end which points to the same theme of not being seen, that the possible self-harm implications could have, is you don't know what you got until it's gone. Like, we've heard that line a bunch in other songs, like that's always there. It's that idea that, like, you're only, how upsetting that is, that you're only going to value me when I end this. And then I also wonder if we're thinking about, I shouldn't tie it too much to the last time, but I'm doing it because we just talked about it. If you think about the last time and the reconciliation high, I wonder if that's part of the reason that the reconciliation feels like such a high, is because you've lost your lover and suddenly you appreciate her. And then your lover's getting that appreciation that she never got. And that's why the reconciliation can feel so delicious and addictive, because you're finally getting that. And it's the same thing as, you don't know what you got till you're gone. You're running down the hallway after me. I always wanted you to show enough initiative to run after me. And here you're finally running when I've broken up with you. You don't know what you got till it's gone. But I think this narrator is truly done. I think the glass shatters.
Sarah, I love that interpretation and what you added there. We work specifically with people that have these experiences. That's what we specialize in. So it's really something we're passionate about. And when we hear these themes portrayed in these lyrics and with an artist that, you know, I'm madly in love with, I'll just speak for myself. It's really validating. It's really validating as a practitioner who works closely with individuals to try to help them overcome these cycles, to identify relational trauma and relational patterns that are harmful, and helping them figure out ways to correct it and then to heal from the damage that was caused. When you hear an artist like this talking about these things, it really makes our work so much more meaningful to me anyway, because it's like, this is something that is a human condition and is so hard to describe. It's so hard to capture. And that's why people come to us specifically to work with us, because it is hard to talk about. It's hard to describe. It's when you're in it, you think that no one else would experience these things. You would think that you're some kind of a monster or weirdo and that you're broken. But then you listen to a song and you're like, wait a second, that's exactly what I'm going through. And then you find a therapist or someone who specializes in this, and you could talk for the first time and they'll say to you, like, oh my gosh, you get it. Like, you get it. Yes, I do. I get it. And when you find that connection, that's when healing can start. That's when you can start really being open about what's going on with you and find ways to change the pattern. But sometimes when someone doesn't have this kind of reflection of self, they feel very alone and they live a double life and they keep it to themselves and they just keep repeating the patterns. When I say that I love this artist, I mean, this is one of the reasons, is because she's helping people connect with something unhealthy, and I feel giving hope for change at the same time. That, yeah, we can be self-aware this is happening, but we can also change it. And I'm going to validate you as the listener and say, I get it. And then you're not alone.
You are not alone. And Mandy, thank you for saying that, because I guess this is just a good opportunity to remind anyone watching who might be going through a toxic or abusive relationship and resonates with some of the lyrics we're talking about today, that there are so many great therapists out there who are available in your area and virtually to help you with processing your feelings and just sit with you through this. Grief demands a witness. So just another encouragement to, if you feel the need, reach out to a therapist, particularly a trauma-informed therapist for assistance. Ready to say goodbye for this video, and we'll see you again in number 3.
We will see you again with number 3. Thank you for watching or listening. Bye.
Take care.